Jeffrey with Real Nifty Vintage, and today is Monday morning, and I am just about to do my shipping, but I had some pretty large orders come through over the weekend. One of the items was actually this pair of swag style lamps. They kind of have that frosted Hollywood Regency kind of look to them. I'm going to show you right now. All right, so all you have to do is take your item right here and put it in this box like this. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to show you step by step how I'm going to package this right here. All right, so I have the first layer in. There is a layer of, there's actually 2 layers of paper underneath this light. I set the light in on diagonal, then I put paper all the way around to become flush with this. Now I'm going to go in and put another layer of paper on top of this. Then after the layer of paper, I'm going to go in and put a layer of cardboard. And then after the cardboard, I'm going to go in and put another couple layers of paper. And then after the layers of paper, I'm going to set the item in, the other lamp in, that one, and do the same thing. Put paper around it, make it flush, put paper on top, and then that'll bring it up to pretty close to about here. And I might be able to cut down a few inches if I need to. But yeah, so I'll check back in a bit. Okay, so this is the second lamp. This is the piece of cardboard. Underneath this cardboard is another thing of padding, and then I put padding on top of the cardboard, and then here's the last lamp. I put the remainder of the chain in between the cardboard and this paper here so it doesn't cling around. I'm going to put more padding here on this corner, this of course, and this corner, and all around there. Another layer of padding on top. And again, like I said, I might need to cut down a few inches, or I can just weigh whether or not I want to put a lot more padding in. But frankly, I'm using a lot of crushed paper. This is that blank newsprint that you can get from your local newspaper print shop, usually. They just started charging me, so I pay about 40 cents per pound. But I'm using quite a lot. This is going to be a big, heavy box. So we're going to see what we end up with, and I'll check back in. We're on the home stretch. I just have one more layer of paper, and then we'll see what we can do. All right, it is all boxed up, and it weighs 14.12. So that is 15 pounds, and I'm going to go ahead and print out the label with insurance. You betcha. It is now Wednesday, and I am just sitting in the backyard looking up at the sky and thinking about what I want to do. It's about 10 o'clock, so this morning I did a few listings, and I'm just currently watching ants climb up trees. That's always a fun thing to do. So yeah, I am contemplating whether or not I want to paint a shelf or do something else. I'm thinking about painting the shelf because that involves being outside more, and this is the first day in a long time that it's been temperable weather. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do that after I can get myself up off of the bench. But we have Stella over there. Stella, what are you doing? Come on. Come on. Come here. Come here. Oh, yes, there you are. How's it going? We walked the nature trail this morning. That was a fun activity. Oh, yes, she loves it too. She was completely out of breath. The car ride is always the most stressful part for her. And I just want to say, hey, chill out, but she doesn't get it. No, she doesn't. So I am just wiping off this shelf that I got on Facebook. And it was only $5. So I'm going to paint it with some white chalk paint, and it should be good to go. And it'll go in the booth to help replace, there's some water damage. I don't know if you can see it. No, you can't. It'll go in my booth to help give more storage space for the items that I am selling. So I have to make sure it's all pretty much clean before I go rushing on paint. That way it has a better level of adhesion. So just wipe this off. Maybe we can do that. Boy, this is just a very nice day. It's still about 80 degrees, but I think the humidity is lower. Maybe that's the difference. I am about half done with painting this shelf, and really all I think I'm going to do is just one coat and then leave the center part open here, and then put a piece of contact paper, a nice square right in the center, or rectangle right in the center there. That'll do two things. It'll help conserve my paint because this stuff is not cheap. It's like $7 a bottle, or maybe $8, and it'll also give the piece a little bit more character and save me some time painting it. So that's what I'm gonna do. Oh, I don't really particularly care for painting, but every now and again I can deal with it and take the time. That's mostly it. It's just a lot of tedious, repetitive motions, and it gets very, very boring. But yes, so I am on my way to almost being done with the painting aspect of it, and then we'll do the contact paper that sits in the center here. All right, now I have 4 equal size sheets of contact paper. They are 9 by 18. The roll itself is 18 inches, and that'll be a good amount to put in the center of the shelves. All right, and it's all done. So I've got the contact paper in the center so that it helps give it a little bit more character, and it'll also give me an excuse to use this roll of paper that I've been hanging on to for a while, and it's from 2004, I think, right there. So yeah, it'll help use some of that up, and I don't even know where I got this, probably an auction or something. But yeah, it went on pretty easily, and that'll look really great in the booth, and it'll help brighten up the space so that my items stand out a lot easier than the way that it was before. So I'm pretty happy with it. So here are some things that I listed this morning on Etsy, and they are Halloween items. I got these a while back ago, but I've just been waiting to list them until we got a little further into the year. But I also was waiting because these are an item that I don't really know a whole lot about. You know, I know what looks neat and old, but I don't necessarily know who made them, what year they were made, how valuable they are. So that took me quite a while this morning trying to make heads or tails of it. But I took the time, and it took me probably an hour and a half or so to go through all of these, but I'm just gonna show you real quick what they are. Now this has already been shown in a previous haul, but now that I have a little bit more information on it, it's a little bit more interesting. So this is right here, a 1958 Wiggly Witch made by Beastle, and this is made in Japan. This is probably the second run of them, or it's at least not the very first run of this particular die cut, because the first set was made in USA, and the coloring on this green is probably one of the biggest notable differences. This is a more saturated solid green, and the originals was done a lot like her skin tone, how it's dotted like that. So that's called a half tone, and so here it is saturated. But this is not a recreation because it is made in Japan, so it would be from not recent, for one thing, but secondly, they did make new ones, but the new ones they have backs to them. They're a little bit shorter, and they are not, oh, and the new ones are embossed. The originals of this particular pattern is not embossed. So you can see she kind of does a little jiggy, wiggy. But yeah, she's holding the cat. Oh, she just looks like she is in pain. Here, trying to fix her. Well, she's ready for the hoedown. But pretty cool, 1958. And I was able to get that number because I found on Pinterest, of all things, a page from a 1958 Beastle catalog. And it had this character in there, and it is a 14 by 6 inch die cut. And it describes it right in the thing, right in that page. Right here, we have a 1964, also Beastle. This one is embossed, and it is of a witch, a smiling witch, and this is also single-sided, but it's a really large size, about 18 inches tall by, I think, about 12 inches across. And then we have this here. This is known as Blix, B-L-I-X, Blix the Owl. This is 1939, also Beastle, and it has tissue paper for the wings in very good shape as far as the wings are concerned, but we do have some damage up front or on the top and right there. This is also single-sided, as you can see, and overall a really nice piece. All right, now these last two things are questionable and I don't really know much about them. So here we have a witch on a broomstick. This is actually much thinner, it's paper. The rest of these are more of like a cardstock type cardboard cutout thing. This is paper. So it says litho in USA, and there are a few things on here that make me believe that this is a little bit older than this or this, and that would be the way that this is designed. I think that the graphics and this checkered dress here, it really makes me think it's from the 30s or 40s, but I would love to find out for sure. It's not marked by the maker, so I don't know that. And otherwise, on the back, it's not marked in any way either. So I would like to know, but it is currently listed right now with my best guess at the background of it. But it is really cool. And lastly, here we are. A very nice yellow and black skull and crossbone design. It is marked Made in USA down here, but other than that, no other mention of anything. So I don't know for sure who made this, but again, I'm gonna go with Beastle. And why? Because it is one of the most prevalent die cut creators out there. They've been around for a very long time, and they have a lot of different patterns out. So this is a very detailed decoration in a lithograph format, I believe, again. So this one also is 3D. Harder to tell. You can probably tell from the back. There's the teeth. So yeah, I just spent the morning trying to deal with this stuff. They are all listed separately with free shipping included, and because they are just paper, it's going to go as first class with cardboard. It's going to be a cardboard sandwich. So that'll be fun. And that's just what I've been doing. That's my fun activity for the morning, to finally get those up so that they can be ready for everyone. So it is about 2:20 and I'm about to head to the post office finally. I had two things sell. One was an ET glass that said phone home for $12. And another item was the mermaid, that rockabilly style mermaid that I just had in my last haul video. A subscriber actually bought that right away. So that is exciting. And I'm just gonna go ahead and take these to the post office now. There is the new fountain in place, and I think it looks pretty good. So all we have to do is add some little stones right there, put those back in place. We had them temporarily moved so that I can get the wiring. I needed to move that light that's right there poking out. That's a landscape light, and I needed to move it outside of the bed. It was originally right here on the inside, but this fountain is so large that we needed to move it away from the fountain so that it illuminates it properly at night. So I think it looks pretty darn good.